So we're going to pick up where we left off with the names and actions of the skeletal muscles. Like I said, the skeletal muscles may also be named for their location. So, for example, the external obliques and internal obliques are named for whether they are located externally or internally. Frontalis is the muscle that overlies the frontal bone. There are other terms that are used to indicate location, like pectoralis, which would be the muscles that are found in the chest region. Gluteus indicates the muscles found in the gluteal region. Brachii, found in the arm. Sub means beneath. So they may be named not just for where they are located, but where they are located in relation to the other muscles around them. Finally, muscles might be named for the direction of the muscle fibers. For example, the rectus abdominis. Rectus means straight, so these will be the very long, straight muscles of the abdominal region. The Obicularis Oculi, which would be the circular muscle around the eye, again, is named for its shape. Other terms to indicate direction would be things like transverse, across, or oblique, which would mean diagonal. So there you go. So the names and the actions of muscles are very helpful to help understand the muscles themselves. So I guess the naming, or the terminology used to name the muscles, can help you locate those muscles and describe them and their purposes. Muscles might also be named for their attachment locations or their number of attachments. So for example, the attachment location, the sternocleidomastoid muscle, is going to be attached to the sternum, the clavicle, and the mastoid process. The brachioradialis is going to be attached to the brachium and then also to the radius. They may also be named for the number of attachments. Biceps, bi meaning 2, quadriceps meaning 4, triceps 3. So those are all about the number of attachment points that they have. Finally, they might be named for the action itself. So the extensor digitorum extends your fingers. It's responsible for extension. It is named thus, extensor. The adductor longus adducts the thigh. So it's going to be a very, very long muscle. That longus means long, of course. And then the adductor is a reference to its actual movement. Other terms that can indicate the action would be things like flexor, masseter, levator. These are all names of muscles that are named for what they do. So here is just a really great little overview that's going to help describe, or not describe, but it's going to show you where some of these muscles are and how this terminology is used. So if I were you, I would maybe hide some of these definitions and just go through these muscles and go through the examples of what we've already talked about. So maybe put a flashcard of all of those notes in front of you, like what does longus mean? What does masseter mean? What does deltoid mean? And then walk through and just kind of see if you can describe these muscles. So the masseter is going to be a muscle up here, while masseter is named for its actual function, which is to chew. The Obicularis Oculi is going to be a round orbital or a round circular muscle found up here in the eye. The Obicularis oris is also going to be a round muscle. It's going to be found around the mouth. So there you can see two examples of how Obicularis is used to describe two different muscles. The Pectoralis major, see if you can describe what that means. The pectoralis is an indication of where it's located. The major is an indication of its size. So there you go. Just spend a little bit of time going through this, going through some of those definitions that we talked about. Again, like I said, I'm not necessarily going to quiz you over all of the muscles in the body, but if you do go on to take anatomy and physiology course, that is going to be a very important part of the course. And so it will be very helpful and handy to have this information in your back pocket. All right, so you should be able to state the 3 types of muscle in the human body, explain where each is found, summarize the functions of the skeletal muscles, and then explain how skeletal muscles work together to cause a bone to move. And that'll be it for this section. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.